Okay, welcome back. This is another episode of the WINGFLATION podcast, the only weekly Dallas Wing podcast that I know of. There may be other ones, and if there are, I would like to listen to them. But we're back. It's Jack. I'm here as joined as always by my friend Bryan. Bryan, how's it going, man?
It's going well. Could be going a little bit better, but after the last game, things just started to look a little bit more up. So yeah,
Yeah, that
doing all right.
was that was a much needed, comfortable, stress-free blowout win that I think kind of like things before that were a little what's going on? We were really enjoying a very
Yeah,
fun season, and now things are suddenly not so fun for a little bit. So that was good just to throw some cold water on that.
yeah, a little turbulent stretch right around the All Star break, and especially coming right out of it. But uh, always good to beat up on some bumps.
Yeah, it's a. I mean, the bum slang is a skill, and the
Hmm.
Connecticut Sun. We'll get into that game as we talk a little bit more. But like the Connecticut Sun, what a disaster! What an absolute disaster of a basketball team right now. Somehow worse than last year, where I feel like when I watched them last year, at least I saw some fun talent that I liked, and they still have Layla Khan, but like we'll get into that later. But they're a mess, and it was good that we looked like you know a competent team against them and handled our business. So
Hmm.
I'm feeling good about that. So last we talked, we had gone live after the Atlanta disaster where we had to go live and just sort of get it all out of our systems and be mad about just the disaster that was the end of that game, which I think coming out of the All Star break with that just left a bad taste in everyone's mouth, and
Hmm.
I think there was some probably some carryover into the Washington game for that, right?
Yeah, I'll say, especially with how it started.
Yeah, like I just think that was a gut check game, that Atlanta game. And it was like, are you a serious team? Are you a good team? Can you make a run? And after that game, I was like, well, I'm not so sure.
Yeah.
So we talked to you guys last, or we talked last after that game, and since then the trade deadline has come and gone. We talked a lot about the trade deadline last we recorded. Turns out we talked. It's fun to talk about trades. People like to listen about fake trades. This kind of thing always is popular. So of course we
Hmm.
talked for way too long about it, and turns out that was all for naught because not only did the Dallas Wings not make any trades, like as always in the W, like very little trades were made. It's not a surprise to anybody who knows and follows the league. But what do you think about the trade deadline? What do you think about what the Wings didn't do? Are you what's your level of if you're upset? Like, do you think they missed an opportunity? Just how are you feeling about it, Brian?
Uh, Generally, I'd say it was very cool to see and kind of experience the first like overnight blockbuster trade at the deadline for the W. I thought that was cool.
Yeah.
It was very funny to wake up to that, but
Well, I'll tell you what. I was awake when it went down. I on Saturday
oh, okay.
I had some friends over at my apartment, and we had gone out for dinner and drinks, and we came
Hmm.
back to the apartment and we're playing dominoes, just hanging out. And I was a little inebriated, if we're being honest. And when that when that notification dropped, I was kind of like winding down, just like on the couch, being like, "Oh, okay." And then like the notification dropped, and I looked at it. I was like, "Did that just happen? Like Phoenix of all places, like Kelsey Plum in Phoenix."
I
So
was like, dude, in a Sham suite of all things. I was like, oh,
of course, Shams had to go there.
yeah, come on, you know that guy's gonna like try and scoop that. Come on,
Oh yeah, like he can't help himself. So
nope.
but yeah, obviously, like the Kelsey Plum trade was a big blockbuster, the kind we definitely don't see in WNBA history. It's very rare that a player of that magnitude moves in season. It's very rare that a player gets of that magnitude gets traded at all, but let alone mid
Right,
season when it just doesn't happen. I think Sylvia Fowles is the only thing that comes close. Sylvia Fowles was probably a bigger deal, at
that
the
makes
time
sense.
when she got traded, but. Yeah, that was crazy. And there was a moment when that trade broke where I was through my inebriated state. I was like, "Are the Wings? Is this going to be the Wings?"
Look, when I saw that deal happen, I was like, okay, is this a big domino, little domino situation where we may see something else? Because I think by that point we had already gotten the Anissa Morrow trade,
Yeah,
right? So that came first, and then we got the KP trade, and I was just kind of like I wasn't anticipating anything. I was like, okay, maybe something could happen. Maybe it is okay to be a
Are the
little bit hopeful.
floodgates open? Is this the start of a new era of WNBA trades that happened during the deadline? And the answer was no, of course.
Answer was a resounding no.
Yes. Which, I mean, is fine.
Yeah.
Like people have talked about, it is difficult. There are constraints to making trades with the hard cap, with draft picks not being as valuable after outside of the lottery.
Hmm.
It's very difficult. Teams that are only being 15 teams, there are more teams that are in it, less teams that are inclined to sell. For example, Phoenix, who is very, very far outside the playoff picture right now. They said, we think that with Kelsey Plum, we can sneak into the playoffs, and if we sneak into the playoffs, we can make a run. Is that the smartest thing ever? Like, maybe it's very risky, but as a fan of the team who wants to watch a good basketball team and win games and watch my team go for it, like that has to be exciting. So I think that was, you can feel a lot of ways about that trade, and it's really that's not the scope of a Wings podcast. But at the end of the day, with the Wings not doing anything, how do you feel about that? Like, what do you are you disappointed? Do you wish they had done something? Do you think there was opportunity?
I was disappointed. I don't know if there actually was opportunity, which is the only reason why I can't graduate like any further beyond like disappointed.
Right.
Right. I was disappointed. I was a bit annoyed, especially after we come into the season. Go into the off season, and we're signing all these big deals, and it's like, hey, we want to build the team that is going to be able to, try and compete for the playoffs, try to compete to go deep into the playoffs. It's like, all right, you said this, you've told me this, so I expect you when it comes time to put up a shut up, to put your money up and go try to buy and be buyers at the deadline, for
Yeah.
again at the W deadline for whatever that means, right, or whatever that's worth. And I do believe that they got on the phones.
Yeah.
Uh, went from based on that very annoying ass Kurt quote
Yes.
from a little while ago, but I believe he got on the phones. Maybe a deal didn't materialize. Maybe nothing that they really really liked materialized. So deadline comes and goes. So all right, this is just kind of the team. We have an idea what this team is capable of. If Paige is like the player that we believe that she is and that she's shown herself to be, like they have the potential to go even further beyond like what we expect, right? Because a great player is just can sometimes just be enough to propel you to heights that you don't expect, especially with the supporting cast playing better. And aside from a bad game recently, AC's been playing really well. Arike's been out of her mind, right? Jess has the Jess the shine has fallen a bit off the star for Jess a bit, but we still know what she is. She hasn't changed. Nothing's changed about her or her game really. There are some things that we can shore up like on our bench, with our some of our supporting role players or whatever. But we kind of have an idea what this team could be, and starting to they're in a position to start playing well at the right time and really kind of get hot and go into the playoffs and have a chance to upset somebody in the first round and give a really good second round. And if they do that, I'm not mad at what happens in the season.
Yeah, we can at least say this was a great step to take for this year.
Oh
After
yeah, for sure.
for being horrible the last 2 years and
Hmm.
first back to back, like that would be something I think everybody could be happy with. The trade deadline thing is, like, for example, if the Wings were interested in KP, which I'm not, I have no sourcing or knowledge that that was even something that they would even consider. I know we talked about it a little bit on the last podcast. I thought that it would be something that I would be interested in if it was if the price was low enough because because of the rental situation, and you can acquire her at a discount and add her to a Paige Bueckers backcourt, like you should do it. Even though we have maybe more pressing needs on the defensive end, in the front court, you just take the best player available at the deadline if you can. Now, here's the
Yeah.
thing: we could not have beat the Phoenix offer. Like that's the
No.
thing that LA did very well in the KP deal to me. They
Hmm.
getting Monica Komakani, who is a fantastic young two-way guard, and a pick that very likely could be a lottery pick.
In the lotto, yeah.
I mean, it's very unlikely because even if it is a lotto pick, it'll be pick 6 or 7.
Yeah,
Uh,
probably.
but if that pick becomes Juju Watkins, or even if it becomes Madison Booker or Hannah Hidalgo, it's like
Right. Yeah. It doesn't even have to be that. Yeah.
they crushed that trade to
Mhm.
trade that and Monika Komakani for KP on an expiring deal. They did very well. The Wings could not have beat that. We would have had to give multiple firsts. We would have had to, like, player wise, we could definitely. There's no one on the roster that we could have given like young controllable player like Monika Komakani. Like, we would have had to trade AZ.
I was gonna say, I think AZ would have been it, and we know they're not moving her, and they honestly shouldn't right now.
And like, would replacing AZ with Kelsey Plum make the Wings better? Probably in the short term, yeah. But like, am I making that deal? No, I'm not making that deal. I'm not putting AZ in a trade for a 31-year-old, player that isn't necessarily the answer to all our problems. So I don't begrudge Kurt for not beating the KP deal. The only other trade that happened, the Anissa Mora deal, I just don't care about at all. I'm just not high on Mora as a player, so I just don't. So based on the deals that did happen, it's hard to be like, well, the Wings should have got in on it. They should have done something with that.
Right.
Because only 2 trades happened, and neither one was one that made sense for the Wings.
Right.
So now, were there, like we said earlier, were there other deals that were talked about but not agreed to? We will never know. Maybe we'll know if there's some.
Oh, Kurt likes to talk. We might hear something eventually.
Oh yeah, like 6 months from now, Kurt will be like, "Well, actually, guys,
yeah, we had this down on the table.
We had a deal for Ezzy Magagor on the table, and we decided not to do it." Like that will happen for sure.
Yeah.
But for now, we don't know. I do think maybe the frustration comes from, like you said earlier, like boxing yourself into a win now timeline ahead of schedule when there was really no need for it. When you do that, and especially in the W, where it's very hard to consistently find late round draft picks that are difference makers, you basically have narrowed your scope of team building resources down to trades and free agency. And free agency is a crapshoot. And if you look at the free agency next year, if you look at the lists of free agents, it's not all that great. And a lot of the players that are good that are free agents are not very logical fits. So you're only if you're not spending big in free agency, which they already did, they got Land, they got Jess, then trades are your avenue to improve. And you make trades either at the deadline or in the offseason. So as a fan, as we know that there's all these holes that they need to fill, and a window to fill those holes has come and gone, and nothing happens. So now we have to project further down the road, and that can be frustrating because as much as we've enjoyed the success of this team this year, we know that they're not a contender.
Yeah, no, not really.
So
as much as I'd love them to be, they're fun. They'll be fun. There could have been a much higher ceiling here. Maybe the ceiling is still high. We'll find out, going forward. But the path we're going to have to take to get there, it's going to require a lot. It's going to require a lot of very specific dominoes, like falling in a very specific order for us, to get to where we want to go.
Yeah, so it would have been nice to see like a bold move or some creativity at this deadline, something that would make us feel a little better about the future. But on the other side of the coin, that doesn't mean you act recklessly.
Right, exactly.
And, do something just to do it. So yeah, it's hard to be upset. I'm not upset about it. I am just like a little FOMO-y, a little disappointed. Like I watched that game last night with Kelsey Plum debuting for the Mercury, and I'm just like, man,
doesn't it feel nice to just have like good new players? Doesn't it feel nice to just like go from being bad to being much better?
And when the Mavs traded for Kyrie, I didn't even like the trade at the time because there was all the stuff going on with Kyrie. But that first game that he played, it was a similar feeling where you're just like, you made a big move that you don't even know if is going to be the best move for your franchise, but you got a really good basketball player, and you're watching him for your team for the first time, and they're balling out.
One of the craziest shots I've ever seen in his career in that first game over Kawhi, right on the left baseline.
It just
I'll never forget it.
That's exactly what I thought of when I was watching KP last night, and there was a part of me that was like, Kurt, you should have just gone crazy. You should have.
Look, a bold move is better than no move, but no move is better than a bad move. So I'll shoot them that much bail at the very least.
The bail in that situation is warranted. So trade deadline, it was what it was.
Yeah.
We'll move on from there. In the middle, before the trade deadline, they played that game against Washington, which thankfully I really didn't get to watch any of it because I was in the middle of work hell. I was at work for 14 hours and I was just in a place where I was not able to watch the game. I was going to catch up with it later and then just had a busy weekend, wasn't really able to. So I really didn't get a good look at that Washington game. Bryan, what happened there and how'd that fall apart? Because I know Washington's been playing better lately. That's when we probably expected to win.
We figured that we could go in there and we could kind of lean on Paige and we could lean on this hot streak that Arike has been on. Excuse me. And Paige was fine. She still wasn't quite like up to her standard. She had an awesome third quarter. Like she made everything. I think she went 4 for 4 in the third quarter, maybe 5 for 5, had like 13 points. She was great in the third, wasn't really able to give us a whole lot outside of that. Arike was awesome in that game, but man, it kind of didn't really matter what the guards were doing. Shakira Austin and Kiki Irvin tore our bigs apart. They were smoking Jessica Shepard.
Well,
every single time Shakira touched the ball, she had Jess on her. Or I think Awak only played like 5 minutes in that game, which like is his own other thing. Yeah. it was. Let me see. I think this was Lan. Well, Lan played well. She had like 11 and 5 in 18 minutes. She played all right defense, but she was fouling a lot.
It's a season high game for her. Yeah.
Yeah. No, she was good, but it's like you can't expect her with the other two bigs on the other team going crazy like that. You kind of can't expect her to hold up and not like be fouling on defense when she was really kind of the last line of defense for us because we know Jess isn't really offering any resistance. Awak barely got to play in that game. Learu played 15 minutes, did absolutely nothing in that game. So the shine is starting to wear off a bit with her as well, and I'm not sure that Jose is caught up. Yeah, we just kind of it didn't feel like it wasn't like a boat racing because it was a close game pretty much all the way through. But it felt like we had no chance to get back into that game because every time Shakira touched the ball, it went in.
Yeah. I mean, Shakira Austin is maybe the most underrated player in the WNBA.
She is so good now.
She is so good. Like I have wanted her on the wings for years, and she dealt with some injuries in her career, and they drafted Lauren and Kiki, and sort of she kind of maybe got lost in the shuffle of all the bigs that they have there and everything they've invested in. She is their best player. Maybe so. Well, her and Sonia, like it's close, but I don't know, man.
I know who's the best player that night.
Yeah.
Do you remember like back in the summer before the season?
What's up?
Do you remember back in the summer before the season? I'm sorry, I'll let you go right after this.
No, you're good.
Do you remember when they were like, this might have just been like Twitter, not even like rumors, just like Twitter talk among Wings fans, like, hey, would you trade like I don't even know if we could do like sign and trades or whatever. Would you trade like Arike for like whatever they're going to sign Shakira to, like straight up? If they're both maxes, would you sign them? And how many people just said like no? And I was like, maybe at the time I get it because like there were injury concerns, there were concerns about her game, but that looks even as well as Arike's playing right now. That still looks crazy in hindsight.
Yeah, there's not a player on the roster that I wouldn't have traded, but a non-Page player on the roster that I wouldn't have traded for Shakira Austin.
Yeah, man.
That's great. Yeah, Sonia was 3 for 18 in that game, which
absolute free throw merchant. Which fine. That's what you're supposed to do. You're supposed to when your shot isn't going, you're supposed to try and get to the line. You're supposed to help your team score however you can. And
we have some players who could learn from a thing about that.
Well, yeah, we do.
So
we do.
Good for her. That's what's frustrating about that loss is they're kind of like us. Except for the complete inverse, where they're a 3-player team. Their team is Sonia, Kiki, and Shakira, and the rest of their team is just bad. I mean, Ogunbowale is like a solid wing. She would be our best wing. So
for sure.
I can't hate too much there, but she's just kind of like journeyman wing. Georgia Amor is a rookie and 4 feet tall.
2 apples tall. Yeah.
Lauren's not ready yet. Cody McMahon, not a good basketball player.
No.
Cassandra Prosper is like barely 20.
A project, something?
Yeah, she's a project. I mean, I like her future, but Flores is whatever. Like she's NPC backup guard. So Gugalich was a horrible pick in the top 10. Like they just have a really weird roster, but they're basically a 3-player team. And We are a three-player team. we're Paige, AZ, and Jet. Well, I guess four because Arike has been playing really well, so I don't want to discredit her, of course. And so we're basically each team has four players that they can trust, that they
Yeah.
can rely on. If you count Anya Ware for Washington, but they are all front court defense,
Yeah.
uh, bully ball, and we
Skilled
are
size too, which like
yeah
really, really matters.
yeah, and we are finesse
Yep.
jumpers,
Hmm.
guards. We're kind of it's very a very fun clash in styles, and I think it's interesting that Washington got their lick back because the first time we played, we just took it
Oh yeah,
to
we crushed him. It was real
yeah
bad. I
we
was there in person. It was bad.
yeah our style won out, and this time they kind of dragged us into the muck a little more. I guess. I mean, like I said, I didn't get to watch the game hardly at all, but that's kind of what it seems like, right?
Yeah, that was essentially what happened. Like it was a excuse me. It was a pretty heavily like inside scoring game. They got the ball past the free throw line, and that was kind of it. The play was over.
Yeah.
They got a decent look almost no matter what, and they either got a bucket, got an offensive rebound, got free throws.
Yeah. That's definitely what it seemed like, and it's frustrating that obviously we know Jess can't guard anybody.
No.
This is a horrible matchup for her with athletic bigs who can move and have high motors and all these things, and
Hmm.
that's why it doesn't make any sense to me that Awak Kuier played 5 minutes. Where again, like Shakira and Kiki are good, skilled bigs, but they're not like Brittany Griner. They're not
That's the thing. They're not like
Mila
beefy. They're
Cardoso.
not the kinds of players that Jose usually pulls a walk for.
So I don't know. Like, when in her minutes did she fuck up? Did she get scored on? Did she get sealed? Like, like, do you remember?
She probably got scored on a couple of times. She didn't get like maybe Shakira like drop stepped her once, but I'm not gonna lie, she didn't do anything to her that she wasn't doing to all the rest of our bigs.
Yeah,
That's the thing that I kind of keep coming back to with the walk. Like Jose sees her get scored on in ways that he sees the rest of the front line get scored on, and it's like, well, it's time to pull it. And it's like, man, I don't know. I feel like maybe we should put somebody else on that player's back if she's having trouble like containing her one on one.
yeah,
Let her play as a help defender. Let her roam a bit because that's where she's like most impactful. And I don't know, maybe try that, especially in a game where, like we said, Lamb played well.
yeah.
Like
He was
you
in
could
foul trouble,
like
right?
having
Like
them both out there.
yeah,
Yeah, and it's not like Jess was even really able to offer us anything on offense anyway. So, and not in that game. So, yeah, no, I didn't see any huge fuck ups from a walk that necessitated like her being hooked that harshly
yeah,
and not really giving any run after that. And that was a continuing trend into the next game,
yeah.
which I still don't understand.
Yeah, frustrating loss against Washington. I guess we play them again tomorrow, so hopefully we can bounce back, make some adjustments. We can get into that a little bit later. And then so they had Connecticut on Sunday. That was just one of the games of all time. That was
Yeah.
that. There's nothing else to say about that. Glad they handled their business.
Hmm.
Connecticut is like I said earlier. Like Connecticut is just they got a free Layla Khan. I'm so like she has been like what's being perceived as a sophomore slump right now, and she is playing in Alcatraz. Like it is horrible, man. I cannot tell you how many times in the game that she would beat the point of attack defender, create an advantage, and then immediately, even against a Wings team that doesn't like to help and doesn't like to pack the paint, like it was just so easy to pack the paint. you know?
Dude, Jack, she needs us and we need her so badly.
Man,
So badly. Do you know how many of our problems she actually solves in the backcourt?
I
If
can't.
we add her to the guards we already have.
I can't think about it because the Connecticut front office is smart enough to know what they have with her.
Yeah,
Even
I
even though
know.
she's having like what quote unquote like a down sophomore season, like they're smart enough to know. And
Yeah, they're not going to be fooled by that.
they're I think I actually like a lot of the ways that Connecticut's front office has operated over the last couple of years.
Hmm.
I liked their draft last year. I like their commitment to rebuilding. I like their asset accumulation. I think that the Moro trade was a good one for them. So I actually think they have a smart front office, and we'll see what happens with the new ownership in Houston and whatnot. But like, yeah, they're not letting
Hmm.
Layla go. Unfortunately, she would
No.
solve so much of our problems, but she was just kind of she didn't do anything against us in that game, even though she consistently created stuff that the team couldn't do anything with. So
Yeah, I was gonna say she had one play where she kind of. I'll turn my mic down. I'll say this kind of quietly. She had one play where she kind of crossed Daisy to the moon and then hit a three.
I, I
That was pretty
know
bad.
I know exactly what you're talking about.
That was pretty bad.
And yeah, that was a tough cover for her.
Nobody tweeted that out afterwards, and I was like, thank goodness. Delete the footage.
But like, you know, to AZ's credit, like AZ knew that like even if she got beat like at the point of attack, like Layla would get, you know, approach the paint, and then all of a sudden there would be nothing to do. You know, what's she gonna do? Like she's gonna kick it out to Kennedy Burke for 3. She's gonna lob it into Reagan Beers. You know, like she's gonna find Sanaya Rivers spotting up. You know?
Right. Oh my god. Oh man.
Like,
Yeah. Poor
no,
Sanaya.
like it's a disaster over there.
Yeah.
It's really not good. Like I said, the Wings didn't even play well on Sunday. They were going through the motions. Paige took a PTO day. She had like a 30-second stretch in the first quarter where she like got a couple buckets in a row, and it was like, oh, maybe she's starting to cook. And she was like, then she missed like her next 3 shots, and she was like, I'm done for the day, guys. Like I'm good.
Yeah, she was like, look, Arike, you carry it. You can have it. I'm done. And Arike was like, all right, sure. And that's kind of how the game went.
Man. Took 9 shots. Like nobody needed to do anything.
Yeah, no. How many minutes did she even end up playing in that Connecticut game? Arike.
Arike had 23. And
did anybody touch 26 minutes?
25 for Paige was the high of the game.
Yeah, so, there we go.
That's what you could do when you play Connecticut and they're having a bad night, which is most of their nights.
Most of the nights, unfortunately.
Yeah, I mean, shout out to Olivia Nelson-Adota. She's a player who I've always liked, and I would help us a lot, but she's overtasked with what they ask her to do. Diamond Miller had a great game for them.
Man, did she? Not only did she have a great game, she was giving Paige the blues on defense.
Yeah, I was kind of. That's a really good point you bring up, because I don't want to read too much stock into it, because again, Paige clearly wasn't locked in for this game. But I think this is a good trend that we can see here, where teams are starting to figure out, and I guess they've figured it out for a while. It's not like this is like a totally new development, but if you put your long, rangy, athletic wing on Paige and just guard her one-on-one and mix in some blitzes whenever they run ball screens, which is not that often. If you do that, you can bother her a little bit.
Right.
And because the thing about the Wings offense is that they don't really work hard to get Paige, like when those players are guarding Paige, they don't work hard to get those players off her. They're not intentional with how they run screening action to get a different player on her.
Yeah.
So yeah, Diamond had her in prison on
she was fantastic, and I was happy for her, because I know playing this season on that team, especially after playing last season, or at least a portion of last season on that Wings team last year, can't be fun when you're a young player trying to establish yourself. Yeah, like she's doing her best to try and establish herself and carve out a role for herself in the league. She's been shooting it well lately, so I'm hoping that that's something that's going to stick for her, and gives her something to do other than just be big and athletic and a player in transition. Yeah. If she can be like a real 3-and-D wing with some size eventually, that's something. So
yeah, I hope that for her as well. I don't really see it. I just think that the athleticism is good, but I think she had injuries at the end of her college career and in her first year in the league that I think took a lot of that away from what it was, because she was a big time prospect. She was big time, and she looked like there's a reason she won number 2 overall in the draft. And I just think that and the feel's not good on either end, and the shot is not real. There's no advantage creation, there's no dribble. So I don't know. It's tough to see it, but it was nice for her own sake to see her have a good game against her former team and to be able to talk some shit. That was really funny when she pointed at Paige after making it. Like she hit the Chris Paul 3 to cut the lead down to 40.
Yeah. Look, man, we need to have a fun time sometime. Yeah, games that are like this. It's already a bloodbath.
You're on a dog shit team that everyone knows was going to be dog shit that's building for the future. You're moving to Houston next year. It's you got to have some fun when you can. So that was
Yeah.
nice. That was a cool moment between her and Paige. Just like she knew what she was doing. She
Yeah,
that's
yeah,
why
yeah,
Paige
yeah.
was laughing so much.
Oh,
So
man.
the only other thing to take away, I think, from that Connecticut game is as we touched on a little bit earlier. There's two things I guess we'll get into, but the Awak stuff is just continues to just be so baffling. And I know we touched on it a little bit in the Washington game, but I was so frustrated with it in the Connecticut game because this was a perfect game to like get Awak's confidence back, to work her back into the rotation, play her 20, 25 minutes, let her cook the Connecticut bums. She checked in, and I think it was the first quarter she checked in. She played 4 minutes. She did some good stuff. Like I think she had a block.
She had two
Help.
blocks, I want to say, or maybe she got a second one later.
Yeah, and like she looked pretty good. And then Connecticut called a play for Reagan Beers to deep seal her in the paint. Reagan Beers caught the ball, scored. There was no help came, of course. You know,
Right.
because,
Yeah.
in the Jose Fernandez defense, if a player catches a ball in an advantageous position in the paint, that's just it. Like
Yeah.
there's nothing else you can do. If they
You are honor bound to stay with your man. You
yeah,
can't leave.
if you beat your man one on one, then sorry, that's a point. Like so.
Yeah, don't get beat.
Yeah,
Sorry.
which I can understand sometimes, but like God, man, like help your players out sometimes. So I don't know, and that was Reagan Beers scored that basket, and then it was goodbye. You're done. You're
Crazy.
out. We are so scared of undrafted rookie Reagan Beers that we have to, because God forbid the Connecticut Sun want to run their entire offense through Reagan Beers post-ups and deep seals. Like, what the fuck are we doing, man? Are you fucking kidding me? Like, that is so reactionary and so stupid when there's just no need for it. Again, in this game it didn't matter because you can play Lee, you can play Jess, you can play Lan. It doesn't matter. The Sun bigs are horrible, and the Sun are horrible. They traded away Morrow, who wasn't even good to begin with, and then they Aaliyah Edwards isn't playing because she never plays. She's always hurt. So it didn't matter. But God, man, that just irked me.
I mean, does he? Is he maybe just like under the impression that this is 2016 and not 2026, where like you should probably have a healthy fear for every team's best post player because they're actually probably good. We're in 2026. There aren't that many like post players that are actually destroying your defense in modern basketball.
And if that is happening to you, that is a problem with your defensive scheme.
Right.
Because if you're allowing that to happen in the big 2026, I don't care who the fuck's on the floor. Like you make an adjustment with the players on the floor. You don't make reactionary matchup subs every time it happens. Like that's especially with a player who is so important to your defense by both the eye test and every single metric there is. We are completely different defense when she's on the floor. I don't care that sometimes big-bodied centers can score on her one-on-one. That players are going to score as the WNBA.
Right. Yes.
Like, what are we? Come on. Be like, what are you trying to teach her a lesson to like show her how to play like a big? Because I know overseas, Awak had a lot of wing-like tendencies. She struggled with physicality. She struggled with matching up with post players. But this is not the way to go about it. This is the one thing. Like I said, I've really liked a lot about the way he's gone about his business and how he's coached the team and how he's led the team. This doesn't make any sense to me. I'm getting very upset with it, and it needs to change soon.
Yeah, I don't understand what's going on. The best stretch of our season was when Awak was consistently getting the most minutes that she's gotten over the course of the season. When she was consistently playing anywhere from 18 to 25 minutes a game, right? Since she had, again, like I keep going back to this game because I think this is about when it started. Since she just got like her ass kicked by Asia a couple of weeks ago, his trust level in her has absolutely dwindled. And it has yet to recover, and it's getting worse. It feels like it's getting worse. Like 5 minutes and 4 minutes in back-to-back games. I don't know what to say about it.
In games that on paper she should have made a difference in, that she could have made a difference in, based on what we've seen earlier this year. I get it. Like if it's Chicago, if it's against Cardoso, who like that's the way they want to play.
Right.
I understand, and it worked. That gambit worked. So it's hard to be too upset about that, but. This felt like an inflection point, and then she got back in the game in the fourth. She didn't play again until like the fourth quarter when the game was over, essentially. Right. And again, she made multiple good plays. Like she hit a shot, she got another block, she got a
Hmm.
good rebound, and then Olivia Nelson-Ododa had her on a deep seal, and Awak was fighting like hell against her, trying to. I mean, O&O had great position, right?
Yeah.
And Awak was fighting, and she caught an elbow to the face from O&O. That was 100% an offensive foul. That textbook offensive foul. Like was Awak beat positionally? Yes. Was it still like 100% an offensive foul? Yes. It's
Right.
called a defensive foul. Jose Fernandez does not challenge the call, and it's 2 free throws for Connecticut, and then Awak has to come out the game because she's like her face is fucked up, and she doesn't play again. And so that's like congratulations on fighting really hard on defense in a game that's a blowout and taking an elbow to the face, drawing what should be an offensive foul. Your reward is a foul on you, a fucked up face, and no more minutes for the rest of the game. So that just that rubbed me the wrong. And then don't tell me too, because like you can make the argument that well the game's over, there's no point in challenging. There's why waste the chat? Why waste the time? Who cares? It's just 2 free throws for a free throw shooter who's not very good. He challenged a foul for Lee like 5 minutes later, like and won. So it just feels weird, man. And like
It's
I'm
weird
not
because you actually need one of these players and you do not need the other. So
exactly.
it's odd.
Exactly. Like the league gimmick has run its course. She can be useful here and there in a few matchups. She has been better than I expected her to be. It feels like we're talking in circles from stuff we've already talked about on the pod because this stuff keeps happening.
Yeah, it keeps happening. Like what are we supposed to do?
Yeah, like these are the big issues that are happening in a game where we played really we didn't play very well, but we won big, and it's just dumbfounding. It's just so confusing. And I'm not a conspiracy theorist who thinks, oh, he hates Awak or he's doing this personally, like because he's like trying to sabotage her or whatnot.
Yeah, no.
But if it keeps happening like this, I might have to like I don't know, man. I don't want to think too that like they're worried about her contract next year, with the salary cap crunch, like her potentially she's an unrestricted free agent, her potentially getting a big raise. Like I'm not saying that that's what's going on because I don't think that teams typically engage in that kind of behavior. It's a really bad look. But
yeah,
if we keep going like this and we're dropping winnable games because of it. It's one thing if he was doing all this and it was working and we were rolling, it would be hard to criticize. But we're kind of scuffling a little bit outside of the Connecticut game, and this is a big reason why, is it not?
I mean, dude, it's getting tough because like, how do you explain the unexplainable when it appeals like what is causing you to lose games? By the way, you can't afford to lose. We fell from 4th to 6th in the standings. We kind of need to be a home court team going into the playoffs. We kind of need that.
Yeah.
Right? Like,
and get a favorable matchup.
That's what I'm saying. Like, you don't want to end up playing. I don't even know who would be like who's the 3 seed right now. It's probably one of like Minnesota, the Aces,
Golden State.
You don't want to see that because we saw what happened the last two times we played them. You don't want to see the Aces of Asia is actually motivated because we saw what happened the last time that happened.
Yeah.
And you definitely don't want to see Minnesota because they kicked our asses every single time they played us.
Right.
Yeah, no, we're dropping games that we really, really need right now. And it feels like these are due to self-inflicted wounds with some of the rotations, with some of the choices, and who's getting up off of the bench and who's getting off of the bench first. I am starting to actually become worried that he genuinely believes in Lee, even in spurts. And as much as I have been like the biggest champion of the human comeback gimmick, there have been times where playing Lee has been necessary. And there have been times where playing Lee has genuinely won us a game or won us some minutes or won us a quarter. The time for that might be over, man. These games are starting to get serious. We're coming down to crunch time. The season's almost over. We're getting into the playoffs.
Yeah.
We need the big girls to play. We need the big girls up off the bench. I'm sorry. There's no more room for Lee right now.
100%. So I mean, no, nothing personally. I appreciate.
No, we love Lee.
Yeah, but you're right. Like it's we have to be serious now. That's the thing. On the bright side, even through these weird last few games and this weird stretch that we're in, man, Arike Ogunbowale, look at what she's doing lately. Best 8 or 9 game stretch of her career. Shooting damn near 50, 40, 90 over that stretch, which she's never come close to doing. And I know like Arike's volatile. She will have heaters and then she'll have stinkers. But
Hmm.
to have this sustained stretch, I mean, 9 games doesn't seem like a ton, but for her, that's big. What are you seeing with her game and how she's playing and how sustainable is it?
Brother, hold on, because I've got the numbers. I only have the last eight. Uh, let's see. So in her last 8 games, 21 points, 3.5 rebounds, 4 assists, 1.5 steals, 52, 42, 90 splits, attempting 4.5 threes a game, attempting 5 free throws a game. That
Okay.
is insane for Arike Ogunbowale. She's attempting 5 free throws a game, and she's like she has like what, a 2.5 to 1 assist to turnover ratio. Like, she has been insane.
That's
Uh,
basically Paige's season stat line, kind of.
it's
Apart from
like,
the more free throws,
and there was the short period up till the Page spill in the Sparks game. I think there was a game before that, maybe another, and then into that game where they were both on at the same time, and it was incredible to watch.
Yeah.
It was incredible to watch. Like that's, if you're really optimistic about this team, and I really want to be, that's the dream. It's like they're doing that. AZ is playing, like, she's been playing pretty well recently as well. Been feeling pretty confident. Like, she had a bad game against Washington, but otherwise she's been pretty confident, hunting her shot. She had a game, I think it might have been in Connecticut, where she hit like 4 threes, and was, really kind of letting it fly. But this is what you're envisioning from this backcourt. I feel like this team can really make some noise in the playoffs. Is them playing like this together and playing off of each other.
And it's just not something we've seen very
No,
often at all in the 2 years now that they've been together. It's very tough to get them both going at the same time, mainly because Arike's biggest problem in her career has been consistency. Um, and so it is very encouraging to see her have this stretch where the thing is too, it's she's not hunting shots necessarily to get these numbers. She's still playing within the flow of the offense. She's still taking good shots. She's still picking her spots to bail out. I mean, she's bailing out the team and late.
oh, 100%. She's been carrying this team for like a week and a half now.
And even as someone who has been very hard on her in her Wings career and
Hmm.
who has questioned her fit with the team for the future, that is a legitimate skill when you can bail your team out at the end of clocks when the possession's going nowhere, when you just need a tough shot maker to make a tough shot. She's the person for this team to do that. So that has a lot of more value than I think people realize. And if she can combine the efficiency and just the general decision making that she's had lately, I just want to keep seeing it, man. I really want to keep seeing it.
Yeah, man. I need whatever is going on with Paige. I Once that clears up, I need to see the two of them playing like this together,
Mhm.
with AZ in like the weak side corner, running like some second side action, like keeping the defense's attention. And it's like, how do you guard this? It doesn't matter what bigs we play with at that point. How do you defend these three?
Yeah,
Just them.
and I think my thing that I've noticed, and I don't have the numbers to back this up. I'll have to hit up somebody with synergy access and farm some data. But
Mm,
it feels like Arike is way more intentional lately with getting downhill, uh,
hmm.
getting to the like you said, like getting to the line, shooting 5.5 free throws a game, whatever it is, and she's finishing at the rim,
Yes.
which she's always been a very poor finisher. That's always been a thing with her
Hmm.
in the league, and so I don't think that she's suddenly magically like a great finisher at the rim now, but I think it speaks to the intentionality that she's playing with and the focus that she has right now, where she gets in the lane and she believes she's going to score. She believes she's going to finish. She believes that she can get fouled, finish through the contact, whatever it is. And I think, honestly, credit to the coaching staff because they probably worked with her on that a lot. Uh, that's the other thing you have to think about with Arike in the league too. I know she's like an older player for WNBA standards. Like she's not a
Right.
spreadsheet anymore. She's not. I mean, she's not like an old player. Like what is she? Like
Now
29?
she's 29.
Yeah. Like so she's not like old. But the entire time she's been on the wings, she has not had a stable solid coaching staff to work with her. Like she's had so many different rotating coaches. None of them have been good. Like she hasn't had many opportunities for growth internally with the system or with the team. So maybe we're seeing now. Like I don't want to give all the credit to the coaching staff. Obviously, most of the credit is Arike just playing well, doing what she needs to do right now.
Right.
But maybe there's something to that. Maybe there's something to her finally having a staff that is helping her and helping her work on some stuff that she's really needed to work on for a long time in her game.
Yeah, dude, it's so weird to see like actual genuine development in her game at this stage in her career, and at this stage in like Paige's career, because it's like, oh, like this is nice. We've been wondering, okay, like what happens when Paige suddenly can't do it, or Paige is being doubled, or Paige is being blitzed, and we need someone who can create, out of either create whether there's an advantage or not on the other side of the court. It's nice to know that we can potentially have that player if Arike can keep playing like this. Like she had a play in the Connecticut game where she caught the ball on the left wing. I think Sanaya Rivers was guarding her. She caught the ball, went to a triple threat, didn't really do anything with it. She just kind of like stared it down, zoomed past her, threw the ball ahead, and just like finished over whoever that was contesting. It might have been Ono at the rim, and like finished with her left hand. And it's like,
what?
Who is this?
We don't see that, and I think maybe that's maybe something that like the staff is working with her on, where it's like she's such a good ball handler. She's strong. She is a great shot maker. Defenses respect her. Like when she's handling the ball, she forces people to make a decision sometimes. So use that to like don't focus less on farming aura jumpers and get to the cup, because there's no reason why you can't. And like you can improve your finishing. Like you may never be like an elite finisher, but you can definitely get better. And again, going back to the coaching thing, Bryan Egler, Vicky Johnson, Latricia Trammell, Chris Koklanis, like no disrespect to any of these people. But none of these coaches were going to push Arike to play any other way than what she has always wanted to do.
Yeah.
So maybe another feather in Jose's cap and the staff's cap that they have made her uncomfortable this year. That was apparent from the first few weeks of the season, right?
Mm-hmm.
She was playing poorly, but she wasn't playing poorly because she was doing bad things. She was missing all her shots. She wasn't comfortable. She was trying really hard to play a new way. It wasn't quite working. She wasn't comfortable. Now she looks comfortable. Now all of a sudden, all that work that she put in is coming to fruition. So what do you think? Do you think she can keep it up? Like, do you think that she can, maybe not this level, but do you think that she's unlocked something and maybe we can adjust our expectations for what she can be going forward? Or is this just all fool's gold?
I will tell you what I do think she can keep up. The things that she's been doing all season long. The improved effort on defense. The improved efforts to stay in front of her mark when she is on ball. The improved activity off ball, getting her hands in passing lanes without taking crazy risks, right?
And not being as space cadet, not getting as lost.
No, right, exactly. Yes. Not getting like consistently beat on like back cuts and stuff like that. Yeah.
Like for a 5'8" player, she's always been okay on ball.
Right.
But because she's strong and she's got good hands and she competes on ball, but off ball it was just, I mean, you run her through screening action off ball, she's out to lunch, But
yeah,
that's a really good point. She's improved there.
Yeah, so. She's done a much better job getting through screens and navigating screens. She's unironically been one of the better perimeter players that we have on the team at doing that, which is very funny. But the improved effort on the glass, especially the defensive glass, the improved, I wouldn't even really say vision, the improved like intention in terms of being a playmaker and understanding that she needs to make sure she's doing a good job, especially when she has the responsibility of having the ball. Whether Paige is out there or not, right? She needs to also be looking to make sure their teammates are getting good looks and not just consistently hunting her shot. She's done a decent job of that all season long. The shot selection has been better. Her moving off ball has been so much better this season, and it's really popped in this 8-game stretch that she's had, where she's been coming off of curls, she's been coming off of pin downs and things like that, and catching the ball on the move and really kind of just rocking defenders to sleep, or being able to catch the ball and go zoom right to the rim and make something happen. Like these things I think she can continue to carry forward. Will the finishing stay where it is? Who knows? Will the
Probably not
shot
this
fall
level.
off a little bit?
Yeah.
Yeah, no, right, yeah. Will the finishing fall off? Yes. Will it level off, somewhere much lower than this? We don't know, right? Will the jump shot stay where it is? We don't know. She's a good shooter, so we expect
It's
that
always
it'll
gonna
hover at an acceptable level.
she's always going to be streaky with her jump shot.
Right, yeah, exactly.
She is, but
Yeah, it'll vacillate back and forth, but like the baseline will be something that you can tolerate as long as she's consistently taking good shots. And this year, for the most part, she has been. Like, she has done such a good job playing within the flow, playing within the role that the coaching staff is like giving her, and taking her responsibility seriously as the vet on this team and someone who is like meant to be there to like support Paige when she can't carry it all herself, right? Or support AZ when she can't carry the load that she's being tasked with herself. The same with Jess, right? Like, and in this stretch, it's mattered a lot because there have been games where it's funny. It's kind of like the inverse of like the Luka Kyrie dynamic where Arike is carrying us through the first three and a half quarters of the game. And then they're, getting to the end of the game. It's like, all right, Paige, we need you to bring us home at this point. And Arike's been holding up her end of the bargain for a good stretch here. So, yeah, man, I'm incredibly proud of her and the work that she's done to get to this point and how well she's playing right now. It's really cool to see.
As someone who's watched her entire career very closely, I'm very proud, but also I feel like I owe her a bit of an apology at times. I have not always been fair to her because she just has in her career a lot of times played a style that I don't always love for a variety of reasons. But like I said, we have to factor in all the context for her career and how it's unfolded so far and the player she is. I still am skeptical about long-term fit with Paige and AZ. I still
that's fair.
don't think that I think if you put a gun to my head and made me say it, I think probably the best thing would be still moving on from her if we can find something that makes sense. But it's just really nice to see. Like I've even with my qualms of Arike, and again, like you can go search my Twitter. I've said. No, I've been very critical of her. I've
same.
been very frustrated with a lot of the way she's played over the last few years, and that said, I do think that oh man, I just completely lost my train of thought. But yeah, I'm just proud of her. I think that she's it's nice to see that she's having this stretch, and throughout even all the criticism of the last few years. She's such an easy player to root for. She's such a cool person, and she loves this team and this organization for no reason.
I was gonna say, and we don't deserve it. I'm not gonna lie to you.
Yeah, but like at the same time, like it was a mutualistic relationship. It was okay, like you're gonna stay here and be the champion of our organization, and we're gonna let you do whatever you want. We're gonna let you play however you want. We're gonna let you tween. We're gonna let you take all these crazy ill-advised shots, and so I mean, there's some of that like. We kind of enabled each other, I think, a little bit
for sure.
as an organization. And I think now, for the first time, you're seeing her play in like a really rigid structure system, and I think it's good for her. And I think I really hope that this is a inflection point for her career that she can, even if it's here, if she goes, if she ends up being traded, whatever it is, I'll always be rooting for her. And I think that and again, I'm guilty of it too. I have been guilty of it even before the W had blown up in popularity like it has, the last couple of years, where the fans, like, she's such a scapegoat for people when things don't go our way, and it's because of her play style, it's because of the position she plays, and it's just not fair, and I just hate to see it, and people are really nasty about it, which I really don't, I just hate to see, because Arike she's such a cool person, and she doesn't deserve any of that.
Yeah, man, she seems to be such like a really nice, cool, chill person, and someone who has played the good soldier for an organization that, while, like you said, we've enabled her to at times be her worst on-court self, right? Over the last couple of years, had not really done much else for her in terms of like surrounding her with talent, especially after the Satsu team destabilized, right? But she's played the good soldier through all of that, played the good soldier through the Paige pick, and understanding that she'd essentially be like turning over the reins to this team and being a good teammate and a good mentor to her.
And she
not
never,
once.
and not off court, not on court, not with her actions, not with any kind of veiled like subtweets or anything like that. She just understood and went along.
Yeah, she has been an amazing frankly, if she is the person, obviously I guess after like Paige and then fairly soon like AZ, I'd imagine, if she is the person that you most closely associate with this franchise, given how young it is, for a long time to come, I wouldn't mind that one bit, because she's just been a great person. She's been a
Yeah.
great like ambassador for this organization. And yeah, it's really cool to see her get her flowers now in this great stretch that she's having in the best season that we've had in the history of this franchise, like the short-lived history we have.
100%. And I think it would be very meaningful to see us win with her.
Oh man.
It would hit a little different. And I would love to keep her around if we could just have her be like the sixth man role. Ideally, I think for a great Wings team, for a team that is a contender, I think she's probably like the mini Janelle Salon, almost like that kind of role where we bring her off the bench, but she plays meaningful minutes. She closes some games.
Right, exactly.
That's kind of what I envision. Now, will she ever accept that role for this franchise, for this team? Will the franchise ask her to? That's a conversation for another day.
Right.
But it's just really nice to see. It's really nice to see this. I just hope she keeps it up and can continue to close out the season and help us win, because she rules.
Yeah, man. Well, look, there have been enough low IQ player this and all these other tweets, and I'm like, look, man, that you can do that if you want. I would much rather just like enjoy how well she's playing right
Yeah.
now and look her game in the face for what it is currently,
Yeah.
and enjoy this, than like try to cling to things I may have thought about her game in the past, or things that I may have seen from her game. Like some of these things were true at points in time, but it's like, look, man,
And
you have
a
to.
lot of them still are.
Yeah, it's like, at the same time, you have to take what she's doing right now, at the very least, while Paige is not quite herself, at face value, because she has kind of been everything for this team offensively for the last few games, and we've needed every single bit of it, despite the fact that we've dropped a few of these games. It's not really been on her.
Right, 100%. And we can touch on it a little quick, real quick here. Paige, since the All-Star break, and specifically since the spill that she took against LA right before the All-Star break, has not been playing at the level that maybe it's us, because we started this podcast, and in the first episode of this podcast we were like, Paige Bueckers is playing at an MVP level. She is Moses. She is the greatest player in the league right now. She is coming for Asia's crown. And then basically since that, she's been mid.
I mean, well, here's the thing. We were saying that because for a month it was all true. For a month and a half she was doing it.
We weren't making it up, but it's just unfortunate that I think, like the collision in LA, or with LA, happening when it did, it was just bad timing, with the break also happening there. Sometimes players who are in such a crazy groove, like they go into an All-Star break or extended period of time off, and things just get wonky. So do you have any concern, like, for Paige going forward with this stretch? Do you think that this is indicative of anything other than just sort of like a player who maybe needs to reset?
No, long term, no. Even like really short term, not really. This is really just like there was a lot of discourse about the end of, I think it was the Atlanta game, about give up the ball, don't give up the ball gate, right? But aside from that stuff, there's no real concern. I have personally just kind of gotten to the point where, especially after seeing that Connecticut game, it feels like she's won, like, not 100%, which, it's weird. I don't know, 3/4 of the way into the season, like, who is really 100% at this point? But in that game, she was like pretty checked out, like you said, after a couple of misses. But she just hasn't quite had the same mentality that she had over the course of I guess the full month of July. And there have been some times she's tried to, like, really force herself back into it at the ends of some of these games, and it's not really gone her way. I still believe that she is one of the best players in the world, and over the course of the season will probably have proven herself to have been, like, if not the best, probably not the best, because age is like fucking ridiculous. Somewhere in the top like 3 or 4 like best players in the league, and I think she's gonna return to that form fairly soon.
Yeah.
She's not the kind of player who like lingers around bad stretches for very long or allows them to linger in her mind for very long. She bounces back pretty quickly. The playoffs are coming up, so she knows she's got to bounce back pretty quickly. Hopefully, that's not going to put like any undue pressure on her, but or at least pressure that she can't handle. But we've rarely seen any pressure that Paige can't handle, so
Yeah.
I'm not going to imagine that we're going to see it anytime soon. I
Yeah,
think she'll be fine.
I think that's a really good way to look at it, and I'm not concerned about her play, but the
Yeah.
one if there was going to be some concern, if there was something that's scratching at my brain, that's troubling me about this recent stretch, it's that it seems like in that amazing stretch that she had before all this, she was being more intentional about getting downhill, getting to the rim.
Mm-hmm.
That feels like it's gone away a little bit, and I don't know if maybe the collision or maybe she's a little banged up. She's trying to uh, be more conscious of that and not put more wear and tear on her body with that. Maybe she's staying. If that's the case, I understand it. Um, but it does kind of feel like in these last few games. Now I need to go back and watch the Washington game more closely because she had a pretty good game in that one. Uh,
Mm-hmm.
but it does kind of feel like she's just been very jumper reliant again, which is always going to be
Yeah.
her game. But it just feels like she's sort of kind of reverted back into early season Paige habits where she just sort of doesn't force the issue. She's taking jumpers instead of getting to the rim. She's passing out of any kind of non-advantageous situation. It feels like there's just been a little bit of that trickling in, which again, not concerning long term. Really not, like you said, really not concerning in the immediate short term either. But I just want to see that player that we were watching before again. I miss her. I want her back. I want
Mm-hmm.
it tomorrow against Washington. I want to see her go nuts
Yeah.
and score a bunch of points and make a bunch of shots and get to the cup and maybe get to the line. But that's the thing that's just like, dude, the free throw thing is just. I don't know if it's ever gonna happen, man. Like I don't know. Like it's worse than
Yeah.
last year. It's literally
We're
worse than last
we're trending worse somehow.
did you see that tweet that Drake tweeted out where he was like, among 20 point per game scorers, like Paige Bueckers has the lowest free throw rate in WNBA
In
history?
W history, dude.
Like,
It's just like
I mean, if you're a fan of ethical hoops, aka if you're stupid, that's great. But
I like to win basketball games. So
I want to win, and to win games, my stars got to get free points.
yeah,
You know,
yeah, all the
so
easy buckets that you can because she's like right now as she is, she's not really creating them otherwise. A lot of her shots are really tough, like you said, especially like to go back to the being jumper heavy thing, like really quickly. Like it was kind of OD in the Connecticut game. Like she was only taking jumpers,
yeah,
only really take like even when she got into or close to the lane, only taking jumpers, only taking pull-ups, only
she was
taking
going
fallaways.
out of her way to take jumpers.
Yeah, right after Jose said, "Hey, we need to do a better job of being intentional about getting to the rim," and it's like,
She said, "Well, can we start that next game? We're playing fucking Connecticut, man. We don't need to. We don't."
look, I'm hoping that that's what it is because that's where I'm like, okay, she's definitely not physically like 100%. If this is the response to like Jose coming out and saying that publicly, so we'll see what happens in the next game. She should be irate that she was playing against the Mystics and the best player on the court was Shakira Austin. Shakira Austin is really good. Paige should feel like this player is not nearly as good as me, so she
Right.
should never be the best player on the court when I'm on the court. So
And she should feel. I mean, I know this is not how she feels, but you should feel shitty for being an MVP candidate and playing 25 minutes and scoring 6 points. You know, like that's
well, yeah, there's also that.
like, come on, like let's bounce back. Let's have a really good game.
Yeah.
So that's what we got tomorrow. We got Washington again. Hopefully we come out and have a lot better start to the game than we did last time we
Mm-hmm.
played them. I'm looking. I won't be able to watch. I'm traveling tomorrow. I'm going to Portland. I will be in the fire pit on Thursday. I will
Ooh,
be at the Fire Tempo game with my friends in Portland, and I will be cheering on Wings legend Carla Late and future Wings legend Bridget Carlton. I will be
absolutely.
supporting them, and so I'm very excited for that. This will be my first time at a Road W arena, so very much looking forward to that. But I think we basically covered all the Wings chicanery of the last week or so. Do you have anything else you want to touch on before we wrap it up?
Oh man, this has been an interesting week and an interesting time, both for the Wings and for the W at large. I am enjoying the basketball. Uh, I am not enjoying some of the other things that I'm seeing
Yeah.
in the W media currently. I'm using W media very loosely because there are some people who just are not within the W space usually
Yeah.
who have a lot of opinions right now. Uh, yeah, man. Yeah,
It's
this has been a very
exhausting.
odd time.
I like it's not even I know we're like, should we even like address all this? Because it hasn't, luckily it hasn't touched our sphere yet. All this we're talking about, obviously the trans panic and the ridiculousness of the Sophie Cunningham bullshit that's happening right now. And
Right.
it's so obviously just this horrible culture war bullshit that has nothing to do with anything that's going on, and invading the league for absolutely no reason other than for far right grifters to score cheap points with their idiot base. So it's just, I mean, when Indiana comes to the American Airlines Center, they better not bring that here. I'll just that's. I mean, I'm sure they like. Hopefully by then this shit just dies down. But I just have a feeling that it's gonna just keep going, and I'm just really not looking forward to that.
That's the thing, man. These are the kinds of people who aren't used to just like being told no. You tell them no, you actively reject like this nonsense they're doing, and you do it pretty stridently. Guess what they're gonna do? They're gonna tuck their tails because they're punk. They're gonna tuck their tails because they're punks, and then they're gonna turn around and they're gonna leave and they're gonna like stop bothering you. They're gonna see you as radioactive or at least call you radioactive, and then
Right.
they're gonna go and try and find the next opportunity that they have to grift on this bullshit. So it had better not come to Fort Worth. That's all I'm gonna say.
Yeah, unfortunately, I feel like that a lot of people in our where we live are going to be game for that kind of thing. I don't know how it's going to play out,
Yeah,
but
so it's Texas after
uh,
all.
yeah, if you're going to the game against, I think it's the 20th when they play Indy.
When we play the
Yeah,
Fever in the AAC, right? Not in our
yeah,
usual. Okay,
be safe there. The league is just doing such a horrible job handling this. It's so ridiculous that like teams don't know what to say, and the league isn't saying anything, and they're just letting it play out and hoping that it goes away when it
well, Jack,
just
what do you mean? When something washes upon your shores that you don't want any part of, I thought you were supposed to stick your head in a hole like an emu or
I
something,
mean, that's
and
the
just wait for it
surprising.
to leave,
I,
right?
I mean, surprise, Kathy is not built for the moment, and doesn't know what to
Yeah,
do,
shocking.
and is, I guess no publicity is bad publicity at the end of the day. But it's just discouraging. But hopefully that shit goes away soon. They'll move on to some other. I mean, once, and I had one of somebody in my mentions today be like, well, once NFL season starts, that nobody will talk about it anymore, which. I hope that's true. I hope all these idiots who don't care about
Please
women's
just go
basketball
away and just go watch
just,
like
yeah,
people
go
crash
watch
into each other
football.
on a football field.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
go
dude.
watch football. Get mad about people kneeling for the flag or some shit, like some, whatever. Run that
Yeah.
shit back, Like,
Oh man,
get
but
the,
yeah, but look, just to say like quickly, overly, look, man, protect trans kids, allow trans kids the opportunity to participate in sport, just like all the other kids. Protect trans people. All of the trans fans that we have, the few that we may have for this podcast, like I can name like three, some of my friends. We love you. We appreciate you. Don't
100%.
listen to this bullshit. These people weren't here like literally, I don't know, a year ago,
Yeah,
5 months ago, 2 months
and
ago, and
and
they're
they'll
not going to be here in 5 months.
correct.
So,
So just stick it out. We're here. You know, DMs are open, all that kind of thing. If
mhm,
you're struggling with this or having a hard time, I understand. It's really, really shitty and really annoying. So
yeah.
stay safe. And I think that's a good note to end this on. Do you have anything else you wanted to touch on before we get out of Dodge?
No, man. Fuck J.K. Rowling.
Yeah, that's a good sentiment to end on. So thanks for listening, guys. This was Wingflation. This was our third podcast. We're gonna keep it going. We'll talk next week or sometime in the near future and go Wings.
Go Wings.